and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is November 26th, the second day of MWC. I'm still in, I think, day one. But day one was very exciting. MWC is happening for the very first time in Doha, in Qatar. Two-day event, such a nice event. Just to give you a feel of it, as soon as you enter the Doha Exhibition and Convention Center, it's so interesting. If you've never been here, I'll just give you the lay of the land. You enter, there's a giant Orido booth, and there's robots running around, the dogs and the humanoids. All of them are here. I think no event in the world is now complete without watching robots jump and dance and do backflips or some sort of acrobatics. But MWC is happening. Day 2 is here. We'll give you all the updates on our social media, Instagram, stories, TikTok, videos. Everything is there. You just have to follow us and you'll get all the updates of what's happening. The very interesting thing is that as soon as I tell you about a summary of the news yesterday and in the morning, whatever happened, we have a very nice interview with the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer, Lara Dewar of GSMA. GSMA is the company behind MWC. MWC has an OG event. It's a 19-year-old event. It's a very long-running event. Actually, this year, next year in Barcelona, when it happens, they'll celebrate their 20th anniversary of MWC. So MWC, the first ever edition after 20 years, has come to Doha. They've chosen a Middle Eastern city and a country, and it is Doha in Qatar. Very interesting choice. She tells us why and how it happened. She tells us how long it took to take this decision. She talks about AI. She talks about the marketing teams that she runs. She talks about a lot of stuff. So stay tuned for that in the middle of the show. Very interestingly, at the end of the show, today it's a very jam-packed show. We have VO Wednesdays. The first episode of VO Wednesdays airs today. VO Wednesday, what it is, it's a 5-episode series where every Wednesday we'll bring you some story about VO. VO is a bank, it's a neo bank, it's a completely digital bank which is run from Abu Dhabi. The headquarters is there, but it's all over the UAE and in a lot of countries. The main thing is it started in 2022, and by 2025, right now, they have 1.5 billion assets under administration. That's the amount of money that people have given them to manage for them, or they've just submitted their money and they're making use of it. It's a very nice story. The episode 1 will air at the end of this if you're listening, so stay tuned for that. How they built such a big giant in just 3 years, and what are their plans for 2026. Apart from that, when we go to the next Wednesday and next Wednesday, for the next 5 Wednesdays, we'll have 5 episodes. We have the Chief Commercial Officer, we'll be interviewing him. We have the Chief Marketing Officer, we'll be interviewing her. And then we have the founder on the last episode of our VO Wednesdays series. 5-episode series, very interesting. So stay tuned till the end. And in the middle, you'll have Lara Dewar, the CMO of GSMA. Just to give you a heads up about what's happening in the world of business, AI, tech, startups, whatever Smashi Business does, as it says here, a platform for driven dreamers and doers. First of all, I woke up with the news that Saudi PIF is selling 3.3% stake in Al Qura developers. They're one of the biggest developers. I think if I could be naive enough to say, they are the biggest developers in Mecca region. So Mecca is Holy Land. It's home to Kaaba, the holiest place on earth for Muslims, the house of God, as Muslims call it. They are the biggest developer there. The very important thing to know about Al Qura developers is that they are developing Masar. Masar is MASAR. It's a commercial, residential, hospitality, all inclusive, all including project which they're developing right next to Makkah. It's a long stretch of a road. It's, I think, more than 300 kilometers or something. I'll just confirm the number so I don't say it wrong, but it's a very big development, and it is being built just to help all the people who come to Makkah to have accommodation, living, or something, at least an option to live near the Haram, and they can travel easily. It's a giant project, but Saudi PIF is selling 3.3% stake in it, and they'll only be left with 16.3% stake in the company now. So I think it's a money move where they're cashing something out, and maybe they want to invest it somewhere else. Happens a lot. It's not a bad news. It's not a negative news that, oh my God, something wrong is happening. It's just that they're divesting some of the profiles. They're taking out some of the money, and maybe they see an opportunity where they can invest it. Just to give you a few numbers, 48 million shares will be sold, and that will equate to 1.1 billion Saudi riyals. That's nearly $293 million. They'll take that money out. Don't know where they're spending it, don't know where they're investing it, but most probably they'll be doing some great job with that money. Apart from that, very interestingly, yesterday Mr. Alabbar gave us a hint of something which is three times the size of downtown Dubai. It was really interesting. We will do the post on it so you can have more details. But he wrote Dubai Square Mall. So after Dubai Mall, he's building Dubai Square Mall, and it says that it will allow electric vehicles. So literally, you'll be driving electric vehicles inside a mall. Anything you can imagine, Dubai can do it, and especially Mr. Alabbar and Imar can do it. It's under construction. Will take 3 years to open. 180 billion dirhams. That is nearly, I think, divided by 4 even, it's 20 billion dirhams, nearly 20 to 30 billion dirhams, 20 to 30 billion dollars of investment to build this. The most important part, 3 times the size of downtown Dubai. So he's building a Dubai Square Mall, 3 times bigger than downtown Dubai, at Dubai Creek Harbour. So we'll have now 2 downtowns in Dubai. To be honest, the Palm Jebel Ali area, when it opens, then Palm Jebel Ali completes, they're saying it's going to be the new downtown of Dubai. So now I think we have 3 downtowns in Dubai. The way Dubai is going, the way millionaires are moving in, the way wealth is moving in, I think it's not bad to have like multiple downtowns, so the people can be scattered and there is no traffic problems. But interestingly, this is happening. Apart from that, the Mac Hussain Sajwani has met BlackRock president, happened like 3-4 days ago. Very interesting thing about this is that what I was thinking is that we know Hussain Sajwani as the founder, developer, real estate person for the Mac, one of the biggest developers, real estate company, one of the biggest constructors in Dubai. But I think the newer generation will know Hussain Sajwani as the data center person, as the person who builds infrastructure for data centers, who builds AI data centers. Why? Because since I think the last year, when he came onto the scene right next to Mr. Donald Trump, and said, I'll invest $20 billion in the US to build data centers and infrastructure around it. Since then, he's been bullish on data centers. He formed a company under the mark Edgenex, and then he named it back to the Mac Data Centers. That company is investing in Thailand, in Malaysia, in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, the ASEAN countries that we call them. And he's investing a lot of money there to build data centers. That is the plan now, and that is what Hussain Sajwani wants to be known as, because Amira Sajwani, Ali Sajwani, both of his kids have taken over the Mac brand. Amira has her own startup, Pripco, so she's working on that. So I think his brand is in very safe hands, in his kids' hands. So he's like, next step, I'll build infrastructure for AI. I will build data centers. Maybe he'll become the data center king in the UAE and across the globe. So that is all that is happening. Now let's move on to the interview with Lara Dewar, the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of GSMA. We'll talk to her and you'll know what we talked about. Everyone, we have a very special guest with us today, Lara Dewar, Chief Marketing Officer for GSMA. And this is an event in Doha right now, first ever MWC in the Middle East, Doha, Qatar. And she's here to tell us all about it, how it happened, what was the process, why you choose Doha. There's like so many other options. We know it all now. Lara, very first question.
Thank you for being at MWC.
Yeah, you're welcome. Very first question, logical sense. Why did MWC choose Doha?
So the whole region's quite special. But Doha just became an obvious partner given its 2030 digital vision. I think that it is a country on the move that is making investments in technology, infrastructure, network, and it's very open for investment. And we've been welcomed here with very warm hospitality, so why not come here? We started with an M360 last year, and then graduated the program to an MWC to draw a more international crowd. Of course, we've added to the program, so we've got a ministerial program with us, so policymakers and regulators. We've got our 4 years from now, our startup community. We've got our conference content, so keynote speakers, CEOs from technology companies around the world, and of course our exhibition.
And how was the process Did it take a long time? Was Doha easy to do? Because as I understand, MWC is very big for It's like one of the OG events in the world, as I know. And what was the process? How long did it take? Was it easy? Was it difficult? The roadblocks, the good things? We would love to know everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you for describing Barcelona as an OG. I'm gonna steal that from your mind and invite you to come because you haven't been. So Barcelona in our MWC family, let's say, is the flagship edition. It's been going on the longest. In fact, we will celebrate the 20th anniversary in Barcelona in 2026. And it's the flagship because it has all of the elements, and it has over 100,000 people that attend. A very, very significant program, very significant exhibition. It's probably at Barcelona, north of 20,000 CEOs or C-level executives that attend. So it's really become a moment in the calendar that people plan around, and that's really important for our industry. And then as we look around the world, we go places where there's a combination of interesting policy frameworks, where there's investment being made, or where there's maybe a renewed energy around the role of connectivity in the overall technology ecosystem. And that's what drew us to Doha. So we've been active in this region for many years with smaller programs. When you say, what did it take very long to come to Doha, it might be better to ask my colleague, the CEO of GSMA Limited, John Hoffman. John doesn't take long to do anything. He moves very quickly and makes decisions very quickly. So I think once we were connected to, especially the ministry here in Doha, they had a really significant appetite for us to be here. So once you have government support and an organization like the GSMA who can move at scale and at speed, this becomes a really perfect marriage.
Yeah, it does. You talk about government support. We've seen that geopolitically and then in terms of tech, in terms of events, in terms of looking Both has covered a lot on our podcast, I'm sure, as well. But if 9,400 millionaires this year moved to Dubai, that is one city.
That's staggering.
Yeah, so 9,400 millionaires, and I think 70% are from Britain. And then we have Russia, so many people. That's one city. When you move on to a larger scale, macro level scale, and look at the issues, these three are the same. How do you see yourself expanding, maybe someday to other countries, or making MWC bigger in this city or this region?
I think certainly in the short term we're going to focus on making this MWC edition much larger. We tend to put MWC in a region or in an area and then draw from there. I don't know if you got to spend any time in the keynotes this morning, but the CEO of Ooredoo, Aziz, talked about how this region is really a gateway to about, I think then the Dion CEO said to about 2.5 billion people in the broader region. You know, it's really a very significant place from a population perspective. And so once you've got that density of population, you have needs, of course, for connectivity, reaching the unconnected, that sort of thing. So we feel very strongly about remaining in Doha for the next several years, really investing here, really growing this edition of MWC. We like where it's placed geographically. And again, the atmosphere here is one where we enjoy a great partnership with the government. And that's the foundation really for these events to be successful. It's private-public partnerships that allow us to draw the broader ecosystem, but also the globe. You know, and as Doha becomes something more and more familiar around the world, people love traveling here. Doha's a beautiful city. Great hotels, great hospitality, all sorts of food, all sorts of entertainment. I mean, it's a great place to come.
My podcast partner gives an example of there's a book which talks about micro cities that you convert a big, large geographical area into micro cities, and then I think Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Riyadh, Jeddah, all of these have turned to that idea. They turned every city into a micro city and manage it. So Doha, to be honest, in my experience also in the last few years, it's just stood out amongst the giants.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my favorites, the Prime Minister, he was here today as well. At one of the favorites he said a very interesting thing that we are like a startup in the world of nations.
Yes.
And we are a startup nation as well.
So very interesting thoughts. You said we have a lot of billions of people, a lot of wealth everywhere here. There's 1.8 billion that investment. We have 550 billion Qatar Investment Authority. We have the $1 trillion AIF. Do you think, obviously, connectivity is infrastructure, right? We need to build where do you see this region in the next 5 years?
It's interesting. I would draw on the comments again from the CEOs who spoke at our opening keynote this morning. He's talked about it specifically. We've got energy here, we've got data centers, we've got connectivity. So as long as you are investing in that infrastructure, and Ooredoo has a very interesting strategy in that regard. I mean, you make yourself an infrastructure capital for the world. I think that the possibilities are really endless. And then when you enter the human factor, just the fact that people want to come here, to your point, because a really interesting city. It sets itself apart from its architecture, from the way it markets itself. It's really very unique in the Middle East, as far as my own limited experience goes. And I just love coming.
Did you see the stories?
I've been here 4 or 5 times in the lead up. I've been to Riyadh because we had a small event there a couple of years ago, and I've been to Dubai, of course. And so you're not allowed to pick favorites, of course, but we really do enjoy our visit to Qatar.
Last question: as you see how big is Montreal going to make this? Any future plans for the whole company? What are you building? What are your plans? And if you can, how do you guys use AI in your company? Because everyone is using it. Be it HR, finance, do you have software you're using?
Oh, of course. Let me start with that part of the question first. So AI, I'm using AI when it comes to things like document summary, like all the ways you would expect me to try to save time, coming up with remarks when I need to be somewhere to make remarks, having AI kind of help me in that regard. So we're using Microsoft's Copilot. Then from a marketing perspective, we're experimenting with tools right now. Last year, our 4 Years From Now brand had a complete refresh that was all AI. We're using things like Midjourney. So there's ways that we're trying to improve the efficiency of the organization, but also exploring on the creative side as well. I think we're at the very beginning of that journey, by the way, and so I think there's more to come. I hope that we can improve our marketing, improve our own outcomes, improve the impact that we're driving on behalf of the industry, but hold our budgets where they are. You know what I mean? So it's about finding the efficiency play, but it's also about being able to drive more and more impact. So that's from a marketing perspective how we're using AI. Then if I go to the part of the question around where do I see MWC going? So growing here in Doha, very hard to predict numbers for Barcelona. We're asked to do this all the time. I appreciate the question, but I would come well short of a prediction other than to say Barcelona for us is really about making sure that the decision makers are there. It is this really cool formula that's hard to replicate. It is exhibition, ministerial program, then you've got the conference, the content, and then you've got the startups, right? So that's a winning formula for us. Making sure that people are there to do business, that's the whole point. That's what sets us apart from other events that look or feel like this. MWC is about getting business done. We want to put buyers and sellers together. So I'm going to predict that we continue to do that we continue to deliver, and that GSMA as an organization continues to represent the connectivity industry in a way that's meaningful. I said this morning in my opening remarks that AI makes networks more efficient and brings intelligence into the networks in a really interesting way. Connectivity is not less important than it was before. It becomes more important in the world of AI. And so representing this industry and making sure that we've got landscapes ripe for investment, with the right policy, with the right regulation, where we're safe and getting people online who aren't there already, that's the mantra of our organization, and I look forward to continuing to do that better.
Just to finish on a very light note, when will AI replace human beings?
Oh, of course, a really light note. Thank you for that.
Or will it ever?
I spoke with Peggy Johnson this morning from Agility Robotics, and they've got humanoid robots. So this is, and they're powered by AI to some degree because they're learning on the job. And she thinks we're a very long time out from replacing humans. And in fact, that's not even their goal. Their goal is more to augment what is a diminishing workforce in that area, especially of very repeatable, very predictable kind of labor that can be unsafe for humans. So I see technology as really coming along and complementing the human experience. I hope that it never replaces us completely. I think that what we bring to the table is intuition, warmth, creativity. Those are really hard for AI tools at the moment to master.
I think you're on the side of the hopeful one to say that we will save so much time that we'll become more creative as humans rather than repeating the mechanical process.
Imagine that.
Right?
Imagine.
So much time to have painting, pottery, spending time with people we love. All of that can happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lara. Thank you. Pleased to have you. Great insights, by the way. And hopefully I will travel with us.
Yes.
Now I want to see
I
the
will
OG.
see you in Barcelona.
Stay tuned for VO Wednesdays, and it's a very interesting story of VO, how they've built a billion-dollar giant just in 3 years. Hello everyone, and welcome to VO Wednesdays, a 5-part series about how one idea born in the UAE turned into a new way to bank.
This is the story of WEO Bank, PJSC. It's a story of belief, innovation, and the power of building with purpose, because every great story, as we've seen on the Smashi Business Show, it starts with that belief. And WEO's belief was fairly simple. Banking should work in your best interest.
And we always talk about it. Abu Dhabi, the capital of capital, the best city in the world.
$1.7 trillion in sovereign wealth, by the way.
And the richest city in the world. There's so many things attached to Abu Dhabi now. We always talk about Dubai also, that Dubai is this. But Abu Dhabi is a completely different set of emotions, money, capital. And then that is exactly where the story of VO begins. And it's in the city of the Grand Mosque, Abu Dhabi, a city that turns ambitions into action, where possibilities seem endless. In February 2022, the Central Bank of the UAE granted in-principle approval for a new kind of bank, and it was founded by ADQ, one of the sovereign wealth funds that we were talking about, which makes Abu Dhabi the richest city, Alpha Dhabi, the telecom giant, and first Abu Dhabi bank with invested capital of 2.3 billion dirhams. VO was envisioned as a platform by their founders, as a platform bank built for the region's digital future.
So WEO's goal was to enable customers' life or business paths with technology so that they could go further.
And they started in September 2022. VO Bank officially launched as the region's first platform bank. Its first product was VO Business. I just downloaded the app. Let's see how it is. But I have great hopes. But it was designed not just to give entrepreneurs access to banking, but to help them run their businesses more efficiently. From day one, VO focused on SMEs as the backbone of the UAE economy. We always talk about SMEs. They're 94% of the whole business that you see in Dubai and in the larger UAE. So they chose a very nice market to enter, where 94% are SMEs. But starting a business was never easy. And traditional bank onboarding was one of the hardest steps. One of my friends has been through it. I've been through it. Takes a lot of paperwork. But VO changed that by digitizing SME account opening, turning weeks of paperwork, actually sometimes months of paperwork, into a process that could be completed in a single day. It was a simple but transformative idea that helped thousands of entrepreneurs start faster.
And I think also with this concept of digital banking, Majid, I know that a lot of banks say that they can apply it, but can they?
No.
Can they really do it? And I think, WEO is really special in that sense. So basically what they did is that they combined banking with beyond banking tools such as invoicing, accounting integrations, and this real-time expense management. So essentially, there was no minimum balance to start, only a simple subscription model that offered, more value as these businesses actually grew. So, features include WPS access, a seamless payroll, and unlimited virtual cards.
So VO Business expanded its capabilities to give customers even more value, and they introduced the Grow plan, with industry first benefits. And the first one is interest on savings. Whatever you earn, that money doesn't stay in the bank and just sit there, it makes money. Then they have free salary transfers with easy WPS integration. And this, to be honest, is the most important part if you're an expat living in the UAE, which you are most probably because we have 80 to 90% of expats living here, a competitive FX rate. So if you're sending money from this country to another country or receiving money, you don't get a bad rate. No one can steal money from you. VO makes sure that you get a very, very competitive rate as compared to whatever you're using right now. And it obviously was a model that helped customers earn more while running their business, helping them run their operations smoothly. But the vision was always bigger.
And it's crazy to see what was done. So in 2023, Weo launched Weo Personal. So what is that? It's basically this retail app designed to help customers save faster, spend smarter, and invest easier in one place. And if you're like me and you find investing extremely difficult, this is for you. So it was launched with this first in the market 6% interest rate on savings through saving spaces, giving customers a reason to make their money work harder for them. But Weo Personal, it wasn't really just about high interest alone. It was actually about giving customers this edge in how they use their money every day. So firstly, it introduced the first card in the UAE that toggles between debit and credit, rewarding both with cashback on every spend. I love to hear mention of a cashback.
Yeah, cashbacks are the best thing that anyone can offer, and Veo is offering that. And the idea of turning into a credit and a debit card, because I face a lot of problems with credit cards. I hate credit cards, but what Veo is offering is such a nice one card solution, and I think makes sense to me now that it can be turned into a credit card. Let's see. But customers, there's a very good chance they could even auto invest their cashback into a stock of their choice. This was the pitch that got me turning everyday spending into effortless wealth building. Being an investor, not a day trader, but I try to trade in all the ETFs, in all the US invest, and also ADX and DFM are there. We'll tell you about it. But it helps you that your money that you're earning in cashback, usually what we've seen with a lot of apps where we talk about Talabat, Noon, basically we talk a lot about them. They're not banking apps, but you get a lot of cashbacks on those as well. But you can only use to order food or order this.
You can invest it in stocks.
Yeah.
That's what I find crazy.
Yeah, you can actually buy a stock and your cashback will multiply into more money. So why not? But customers are also gaining simple in-app process to IPO subscriptions on ADX and DFM. We've seen so many IPOs happen in the last year. Me and Worth sitting here have talked about Talabat, the biggest tech IPO in the world. We talked about Lulu, one of the biggest IPOs in the region. And you can use just Veo to subscribe to their IPOs. So it opens for you a new level of opportunity. To be honest, you listen to this and it may seem like a pitch, but it's absolutely the truth that everyone here we've seen has been using. We've seen a lot of retail interest grow in this region. It's not just it's not just the big companies with millions of dollars investing in IPOs or investing in stocks. It's just basic you and me kind of people, basic retail people.
I think with Weo too, Majid, it's that number that I told you about, that basically by mid-2025, it was reported that 150,000 companies registered in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
What does that mean? They need easy digital banking.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where Weo comes in.
Weo Business has become a well-known platform for SMEs. They offer everything from virtual cards and cashback to interest on savings and attractive FX rates. Weo Business continued to grow to become the largest SME bank in the UAE. It's preferred by over 40% of newly licensed SMEs. So on the retail side, we can also talk about that. Weo Personal continued to lead with innovation. The salary plan gave professionals an easy way to grow their money by simply transferring their salary to Weo. It unlocked the best interest rates and cashback rewards so that every dirham worked harder for them. So their salary, if you get 10,000, it doesn't stay 10,000. You get, as we talked about, the 6% interest rate over whatever your savings are. You get so much cash back on every transaction you make. So that 10 will feel more.
And I think with this, Majid, it's this concept of how people trust banks.
Yeah.
I think that within all of us, we trust banks. Like whenever I talk to people about investing in stocks, they don't want to use these apps because they don't trust them.
Yeah.
So if you actually have an app like WEO, a bank, and you can also invest in stocks using it, it's that consumer trust right there. Because I don't really trust some of these trading apps. I'm not going to lie to you, I really don't. So even when customers use credit cards from other banks, they could earn 1% cash back when paying them off through WEO credit. So, and literally every transaction is working in your favor. So this approach actually reflects WEO's core philosophy. The bank wins only when the customers win.
Today, let's talk about today. WEO stands as one of the region's most trusted and profitable digital banks with over 50 billion dirhams in deposits, over 300,000 customers, and a growing portfolio of products that makes money work smarter for individuals and businesses alike. Its ethos has never changed. WEO was born to back you.
And I think it's also really inspiring that they were able to do this much in such little time. I know that a lot of people listening right now who want to be founders, like this is a story of inspiration, and we have something special to tell you. Enjoy 6 months of free banking with WEO Business. Download the app on the App Store or Google Play and use code WIOSMASHI, WEO Smashi. Next Wednesday, join Amina Tahir, Chief Marketing Officer at WEO, as she introduces a very exciting new product, a new way to make money, management simple, and a shared experience.